Hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm great.
Finally. It's been
Yeah, it's been a long time since you asked,
yeah, I know.
or since someone signed me up, I guess.
Man, you're really busy. Like you traveled a lot, right?
Yeah, I moved for work like a couple months ago, and then I don't know, I was really busy with shit over the meantime, and then with work and stuff, it's whenever I was getting online, I was already stuck doing something, so it was always hard to get a time together, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. I guess. I mean, this was before this whole shit going on. I assume, right?
Yeah, yep.
Now, are you in quarantine now or
Yeah,
lockdown or whatever?
yeah, I live in Alabama currently, so the whole state just got put on like lockdown, I guess, like a shelter in place order. I think Friday or Saturday, so.
Damn. Well, how are you guys holding up?
Pretty good. I'm still working from home, so
Oh, that's good, I guess.
um so I've been kind of busy, but I've been playing a lot of WoW, that's for sure.
Sure. I mean, yeah, working from home right now can't really, it's perfect for everyone who plays this game, I guess.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. I'm definitely gonna miss it whenever I have to go back into work in person.
Now, I mean, you do you have a laptop at all you can take maybe? Like,
Yeah, I do. It's just I don't think it's the kind of job where I'd want to be sitting there and someone walks into my office and I'm playing
sure.
a game maybe. But
Yeah,
I have enough to do when I'm at work that I can stay busy and it's not like I need to be on here all day anyways.
I see. Well, you know, we do got we have to do when it comes to this kind of stuff. I mean,
Yep.
hopefully we'll get back out there, and
Yeah, I'm getting starting to get cooped up myself, so I'm looking forward to stuff reopening.
give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm trying to look for Zulfaric group. This is what's great about this thing too. You can play while you're talking,
Yeah, I know.
and
That's pretty nice.
so there's no like your time doesn't go to waste.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a nice feature of this.
Yeah.
Um, why did you decide you wanted to do this even?
Oh me. God. I think it was 4 months ago, even like maybe 5 months. I started November, kind of mid-November, but I thought about it like a month before that. Um, I've always wanted to try doing a podcast, but I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know what content I would want to make.
Hmm.
And upon thinking about it, the first thing I thought about was like a scripted podcast. For me, that's like, that takes too long for me. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
sitting there thinking what I'm gonna say, and it's gonna be too much work. Plus, I want to play this game,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah, so I'm thinking that. Well, actually, I didn't know what I wanted to do with this game yet because it hasn't been the idea hasn't popped yet.
Hmm.
But when I was playing this game, I really enjoyed it. But I thinking that it's just like a hype thing for me, and I thought that it was just gonna be like a couple of months before I quit or something. Do a
Yeah.
couple of MC raids, and I'm done. That's what I thought. But then, thinking about this podcast thing, I thought about a couple of podcasts, maybe like one scripted, which is like more of an entertainment, one that is more for historical. So I had both of these type of podcasts that I wanted to do, but thinking about the pros and cons of it, if I had a scripted one, it would be good. I mean, based on how much work you put on it, and I also thought about doing a research podcast. Um, but then I'm like, oh, man, I like doing research, but I wanted to do something else that it's not so time consuming, right?
Yep.
And then I all of a sudden I'm like, this is World of Warcraft. I'm like, what if what if I interviewed people? Like it doesn't even matter like who they are, just characters in here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, huh, okay. And I'm at work one day. I'm like, okay. I'm looking through names. I already had the speed limit name picked out because this was like level 30. I think I was like level 30 already. And when I was looking through website names and make sure that speed limit isn't taken, which it is taken, um, I just bought the speed limit podcast.com. I just created that domain and ordered it through my registrar. So I did that, and since I bought like a plan for a year, and you can create 3 websites for free. I'm already using 2 websites then, and I had one more to use.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I'll just use that. And then I worked on this website for at least like a day, and the next day I started on my scouting on who to interview first. And I logged in. I went to Ashen Vale. I'm just looking through general chat to see who's talking. And I happened to pick Doomscream for the first episode. So I've been kind of doing it ever since. So yeah, that's how it started. I mean, thinking about it too, I added. I don't know if you noticed. There's music in there. Like that's my whole other content of my podcast is the music.
Yep.
I was supposed to write music in each outro, but I kind of got burnt out. I can't. I couldn't like create music as fast as I want to.
Well, it's still pretty cool that you do it when you can.
It's nothing. I don't have to like think about what I want to write.
I definitely get the laid back nature. Because like I'm sure you know, but I'm like one of the people that helps to write the newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not the most. I mean, I'm fairly organized, but whenever I make schedules for stuff, if it's not something that I know needs to be done like with a hard deadline,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always pushing it and pushing it and pushing it as as late as I can. And so that's coming to bit me in the ass a few times on the newspaper, at least on stuff that I was supposed to be writing. It's like, oh, we want to do it tomorrow, have the paper out tomorrow, and I'm sitting there like the night before, like typing all my shit up and trying to finish stuff, and it just kind of screws everybody else. But
Yeah.
it's definitely nice you can just come in here and talk and not have to worry about having a script or having to plan anything too in depth beforehand.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool though. How many crew does Bacteria have now, including you?
Right now, there's 4 of us. Bacteria, I think you interviewed him a while ago. He's the editor-in-chief. And then
Mm-hmm.
I assigned myself the title head of reporting. And then Lustless, she's an alliance priest. She is like our chief of design. So like she does like pretty much all of the design and layout work on the newspaper. So the reason why it looks as cool as it does is 100% because of her. And then we recently just had another person join us. She's a horde player, dominatrix, and she does a lot of reporting and proofreading and editing and stuff. And it's just like it just seemed like a lot of work for 3 people to handle at first, but now that she's on board too, it's a lot more help to have another person, and she does a lot of good work and has definitely been a huge part of the paper the last few times we made one.
Yeah, the newspaper looks freaking impressive, man. The art form of it looks different in each issue, which makes
Yep.
it way better. I mean, not
Yeah,
that.
that's all Lustless.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, man. Not that it didn't look good before, but for sure it has like it's more artsy, and yeah, I like it. Like I check it out all the time. And all the stories, and well, you mentioned that when you have time to write it, to report, are you the editor, or are you an editor, you said? Or
I help editing. I mean, we all kind of help edit stuff, just like read through things and fix, grammar problems or spelling or just anything like that. We all kind of pitch in there.
Okay.
But I do like a lot of the I write a lot of the articles and go talk to people, and I've done some interviews and stuff, and I try to just contribute content to the paper so that a lot of the stuff is user submitted from people that aren't part of our team. Like anyone can write something and put it in the paper, and we'll make sure it gets in there and gets a spot and looks good and everything. But
Yeah.
if we just relied on that, it would probably take too long to release papers, and we wanted to kind of do it like on a more regular schedule, or on a more frequent basis. So I started helping write a lot of stuff. I didn't even come on when it started. I didn't even know that it was a thing until like the third issue or something, and then I wrote like a little brief thing like right whenever World PvP started in Phase 2, and then I think the next thing I did was write an article about myself actually whenever I made the hand to rag, and then after that I just told Bacteria, I was like, hey, like I know it seems like it's like a lot of work. I'm like, I'm happy to help. And I've always liked writing little articles and stuff and being part of things. Like one of the places I interned, I helped like write a little company newspaper and stuff, and I've always been a fan of writing little, silly editorial things, and just stuff to joke around, and just it's appealing to read and not necessarily something that's I don't know, so realistic. So this definitely like really like fit in to my personality well, that I'm writing a newspaper for a video game, and you're pretending like it's part of the video game and stuff.
Yeah, which is awesome, man. Like it's one of those things that you don't really think about when it comes to World of Warcraft, WoW community, and especially in Classic, nobody does this, man. Just not in retail, no other games. Maybe I can't really think of any other games that are doing this kind of in-depth nature of other realistic portion of the game, and makes me think that that's why I'm still playing, because of this kind of stuff. It pulls you in,
Yeah.
especially with other friends out there that are kind of playing with you, and even if they're far away, in your guild, and your the people that you've been since day one, and it creates this relationship between two people. It doesn't have to be physical or anything like that. It's a game. You have something in common, and you have fun.
Yeah, definitely. Just like along what you're saying there, that always, that's one of the reasons I like doing it too, is because I think a lot of people on the server, even if they don't, necessarily write anything or add anything to the newspaper, like, so many people read it from the server and they take pride in, like, this is our newspaper and stuff, and it really makes you feel like a part of the community, and it really is like one of the most rewarding parts about doing it and being a part of it, is making something that other people are, have, pride in, or they enjoy seeing it come out whenever we do it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like today I was talking to somebody. I'm currently trying to get a bunch of information about guilds on the server, both like former guilds and current guilds, and kind of like compile like a guild history.
Uh-huh.
Which honestly, after I started doing it, like it seemed like a good idea when I was thinking about it, but now it seems like it might be a little ambitious, just because of the the vast number of guilds that have been both on the Horde and the Alliance. And at
Mm-hmm.
first I was just gonna focus on the Alliance, but then Horde people started submitting their stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But I was like talking to a GM today, and he was telling me how, like, yeah, like the newspaper is awesome, and it's meant a lot, and I know like a lot of people enjoy it, and like those are like the things that I hear that I don't want to say inspire me, because that sounds kind of sappy, but
Mm-hmm.
it makes me feel proud that I'm part of something that people appreciate and care about, and it's not just for me, but it's for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you also have a horde character?
Yeah, I actually just started a Horde character like this week. Whenever I was bored, I was like, why don't I've been meaning to do it for a while, but
Mm-hmm.
I got a second sub and then created a shaman. So the
Cool,
name
man.
is no secret. His name is Shocktitude. So
Shocktitude.
yeah, so it's
I'll
a
add
play
you
on
right now.
Rectitude and shamans. But I usually don't reuse my name like that. Rectitude is just the paladin name, and then all
Hmm.
my other characters on the alliance, they all have their own unique names. I'm not gonna,
Yeah,
some people like to play off all their names and have some variation of the same thing, but
yeah.
I usually like to have different things. So that was like thought it was funny that it's the same thing, and people at least recognize me.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it helps a lot with to create your name, especially if you're having trouble trying to think of what your next character's name is. That's why people. That's probably why people do that, or maybe they just resemble that kind of word or whatever. I never
Hmm.
really thought about that before I started making alts, and my main is his name is Green Hill. He's a shaman, and speed limit. That's far apart. They don't have anything to do with each other. So,
Hmm.
and I kind of like that uniqueness of the names. It makes you have this. It makes you want to get away from, you know, um, either bullshit or some drama shit from what's going on your other character. I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you get to have another identity. And um, before I was telling, before my guild knew who I really was, and my shaman is my main. Um, I had this thought where if I go on the speed limit, I'm just gonna stay a speed limit character, But who is speed limit? I'm trying to figure out like what character is speed limit, and then I'm kind of getting frustrated and confused. Like I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just like I'm just gonna do whatever. I'm not gonna act like speed limit or anything. I'm just gonna be me. But if I'm typing something, maybe I'll act that way. But if I'm talking, then I can't get into a character. I guess that I don't have enough RP experience. I guess I'm
Yeah.
still kind of learning, and this is another thing that I never thought about being in an RP server. You can't just go into it without having experience because you be weirded out. Other people will be weirded out, and
Exactly.
you don't know you don't know pretty much what you're doing. Which is what I've been kind of learning. Just sitting there, getting invited into RP events, and just sitting there and just do an expectation. Is that the word?
Expectation.
Expectation. No, it's
Spectate.
a spectate. Yep. So I've been kind of
Yeah.
spectating and just kind of learning. I remember going to Reforged Glades and walking around with one of the RP guild here, landlubbers,
Hmm.
and they were trying to solve a mystery or something. I'm just like, oh, this is kind of cool, man. See, like to play this game, there's multiple ways to play it. I'm doing my own game, which is like podcasting, raiding, and talking to people, alliance, especially. Other people out there just do RPs. They don't even care about the gear, or maybe they do, but it has to be RP gear.
Yeah, I've definitely. I mean, I was a long time like retail player. Like I was playing retail from like nonstop without like a lapse of my sub from like I guess like the end of Cataclysm like up through like the launch of Classic.
Mhm.
And I'd played off and on before that, like all through Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm even. But I'd played that games for so long that it's like I never role played once. And it wasn't even something I thought about doing. It's something that everyone jokes about and makes fun of unless you're on one of those servers. But
Mhm.
the only reason I ended up on this server is because my brother was here and he just like I guess he wanted to pick a server that he thought would have like a fairly balanced faction ratio and like a healthy population in the long run because it seems like the people that like to roleplay and like to get involved in the game are the ones that are going to stick around more.
Mhm.
And I it's definitely a different community and it's definitely like a community that I'm thankful for. And I've started to roleplay a little bit and just go around and do the an event pops up and I'll just travel over there and get
Mhm.
into the character and stuff and it's fun to be a part of that and just interact with people, I guess, as a different person.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I was actually back in retail or vanilla. Um, I played in a full RP server, Argent Dawn,
Okay.
and I never RP'd. It's one of those things that, like you said, it was new. I didn't know what it was, and when they say RP, I thought that playing the game, because it's in a server, it's called RP, role playing. You're already role playing when you're playing this game. I didn't know that you're supposed to act in a certain way, and that never occurred to me until like years and years of thinking about it later. It's just like RP server, and I thought about it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it was.
Yep. It's definitely like it's a different feeling when you're a part of it as opposed to just like on the other side of things where you're just hearing about it. Like everybody would joke like, "Oh, let's go to the to the Moonguard Goldshire Inn and stuff," and
Mm-hmm.
RP with like an elf hooker or something.
Yeah.
That's not even close to anything that happens here. Like I don't think I've ever. I'm sure it happens, but I don't think I've ever witnessed what people call ERP anywhere
Mm-hmm.
in the game. So it's
Yeah.
definitely a different feeling, and it's fun. I mean, I'm not always role playing, but like I don't role play in my guild or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
the same people out in the world, and those are the people that are doing it, and it's fun to interact with them. And
So, what's your guild?
so originally, I was in a guild called Envy, which we formed it on like the second or third day of the server being live, maybe. It was one of my friends, and I was the co-GM, and we ran that for a while up until like a month or so ago when we decided we just were going to end operations basically, which came about because of a combination of things, I guess. Partly it was just like drama inside the guild,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which was exacerbated by the fact that we were struggling through Blackwing Lair. So, we just decided, hey, we're better off if we just let people go their own ways and decide what they want to do. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'd say there's a fair number of people that ended up like transferring or retiring from the game for the time being or taking breaks. Not a lot though. And then around like 12 or 15 people came with me and Defy, who was my GM, to Reforged, which is a guild I'm now in. And
Mm-hmm.
then a good portion of the remaining people that remained playing went to another guild called Immortal Exodus, and then another smaller fraction went to other guilds. But
I
I'm
see.
currently in Reforged, and uh, their backstory, I guess, is they were like an original vanilla guild, and then they reforged their guild in
Oh,
Classic.
okay.
So I'm not on their main raid group. I'm on their second group, but it's a pretty solid group. Like we cleared Blackwing Lair in around 2 hours last week, and then we raid Blackwing Lair tomorrow. So
Cool, man.
expect that to go
Um,
well.
so are they one of the uh old guilds then, or not old, but like original guilds out there? They are they pretty new?
No, they're definitely one of the original guilds. They've been
Okay.
here on the server for as long as I remember, honestly.
Reforge.
Which,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'm not very familiar with like guilds that I think especially in Alliance. Obviously they can't. I mean, I see people around the pug, TC.
Hmm.
I talked to
Yep.
him. I
Yeah,
interviewed
he's a
him.
pretty cool guy.
Yeah, and I interviewed Kisa, the Russian guy from
Yeah, the Red Army.
yep, Red Army. Yep, it was kind of cool. The only thing about that guy was like if you don't, if you just went silent, he'd keep talking. Like, so intentionally, I would like raise my voice a little bit and just start talking, and then that's when
Yeah.
I get him to stop and just kind of get him this level. Just keep talking and talking and talking until you're done. Even if you made the slight pause, he would just go at it again.
Yeah.
But
He's funny.
it wasn't bad. I really enjoyed talking to him, getting to know him, and he was up for it. So it's like, oh, cool, man. That's before this was before our Reddit. I guess that nobody's um managing our Reddit anymore.
Yeah, I guess what
What?
happened was the moderator was inactive for a month or something, so it got locked, which is I guess a default Reddit thing or something.
Oh shit.
And then
Did
I
he?
know no, he didn't come back. And then I don't know if it's I haven't checked it since that happened, so I don't know if it's active again or not. But I know that Caroline, which is she's the person that runs the server Discord. I
Mhm.
know she requested access to the Reddit so she can moderate it, I guess. But I'm not sure what eventually happened at the end of that. I don't know if it's
Mhm.
still locked or if it's active again.
Yeah, that's weird. We kind of not need, but that's kind of essential in our server,
Yeah,
the Reddit
I
especially.
definitely agree. Um, the Discord's big too, but it's so fast moving and stuff is just being typed in there all day. Like I definitely participate in it, and if you're not constantly reading what's happening in there, then you'll never be able to keep up with it. At least
Right.
from what my experience of it. So that's why the Reddit was nice because you can post something that's a little more lasting.
Yeah, and not a lot of people post in there. I mean, as much as we would like people to post in there, but rarely, maybe like every, uh, even if we were lucky, maybe like a couple hours. Um, so yeah, they could just view that, and it logs it there too. You don't have to scroll up that far, unlike
Yeah.
Discord. But yeah, I learned about Discord with that when you're saying you had it's so fast paced. That's why I go to whenever I'm finished with one episode. I usually just go to creative and post it there.
Yeah, those channels are a lot slower. They're like the PvP channel and the discussion channel, and then the faction channel. They kind of move pretty quickly.
Hmm.
It's hard to keep up with those.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy thinking about having a Discord with Classic WoW because back in vanilla, there's nothing. Like I mean,
Yeah,
you can YouTube stuff. You can maybe create a website for Alliance and Horde to talk with to another.
yeah,
Um, but there's nothing. I mean, there's Ventrilo or there's TeamSpeak,
yep. That was it.
and I don't think there's any created community for this specific purpose. What Discord have accomplished,
Hmm.
and I mean, this is very useful, man. I thought it was gonna be one of those things that is like, this Discord is gonna be used in a wrong freaking reason, in the wrong thing, and I mean, it probably happened here and there, but the majority of it's been kind of positive, and
Hmm.
it's kind of been a blast because I can um show my episodes, and Alliance and Horde will see it, and that's kind of the thing that I liked about Discord.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely helped the newspaper too.
Oh yeah, that too.
The
Yeah,
same reason,
especially. Yep.
because that something like that would have never. I mean, you could have made one and I guess put it on a website, but I mean, a little hard to advertise it in game, short of just yelling the website. But who the hell is gonna click on that? You know?
Yeah. I mean, even if you created two accounts, the time that you're in one character on each side of the faction will impact. Will have a
Yeah.
effect to it because you
Yeah,
have
because
to. Go ahead. Sorry.
I doubt internet was very strong back then that you could have two accounts logged in at the same time and like running on your computer. It probably would have been a little taxing for your internet and your computer.
So, if you notice, like on Alliance side, um, how many do you think that has the Hand of Rag now?
Oh God, on the Alliance, probably I would say at least 12. It's probably somewhere close to it's probably 12 to 15. Um I counted for a while and knew who had them all, but now there's just so many damn people that I don't even know. It's definitely over 10, I would think, at this point, because I know some guilds have multiple ones, and I think every guild probably has one. Like it just seems so common,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't think it was ever going to be like that, but
That's crazy.
yeah. I know whenever I rushed to like craft it, there was only like two other people on the server that had the eye, and then I was obviously the first person to make it, but then there was there's people like a couple weeks later, and then more people, and then more people, then an explosion of people, and then like when Entitled transferred over, they brought some, and so there's definitely a lot around now.
Yeah, that's man. How long did that take? When do you remember the first time that I dropped and you winning it? Oh, what was that feel?
Yeah, it
What did
was
you feel like?
well when it I mean I was the only red paladin in the group. Well, I think I was healing at that time, but my intention was always to play red paladin. But for a while I was healing because it's just what the guild needed, and it would have been fair for me to go in there and watch us wipe because I was not playing a healing class. So my intention was always to be a red paladin, but it was like it was probably November before Thanksgiving, if I remember correctly. Maybe the week before Thanksgiving we were raiding, and or either the week before or the week after, but it dropped, and I was like, I wasn't the master looter. Defy, who's our GM, she was the master looter, and I was like, oh my god, like, and we had never really like talked about it, and we sort of had like a loot system set up at that point about how we were distributing things, but it wasn't really set in stone yet, and
Hmm.
I just assumed I was gonna get it, even if I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I think everyone was like, everyone that was raiding with us was pretty, like unanimous, and maybe not that I deserved it, but that I was probably the best person to get it, because we'd all spent a lot of time like making the guild what it was, and like a month before we were, there wasn't even 10 level 60s in the guild for a long time. Like Defy and I were like the only level 60s, and we both busted our asses to recruit people and to get pugs together and stuff until we were able to raid. So it was definitely a great feeling to get it, and I don't think anyone held that against me. And then after I got it, it was like, well, shit, I got to start farming stuff, and I really had nothing ready.
Yeah. And
Um,
yeah, the initial point of that farming, how did you manage to do that? Did guild members help you, or did you do it alone? I mean, obviously the lava
yeah.
course and all the stuff that you needed, you probably got it from auction house
Yes.
or
No,
from your
so
guild.
all the mats that are like the raid drops, so like the lava cores and the fiery cores, the guild just gave them to me because at that point there really isn't there's not too many uses for them at that point. The uses all come out whenever Blackwing Lair comes out for the most part. But like the two biggest items that took the bulk of the farming and work were the Arcanite bars and the ingots, and that was a pain in the ass. So like the Arcanite bars, like I probably mined 40 arcane crystals myself in like a week, and I was probably logged in for like, I don't know, like in the span of like 5 days, I think I was probably logged in for 60, 70 hours,
Sure, yeah,
like just mining constantly, literally just running around the Eastern Plaguelands mining, and that was just brutal. And then I was like sucking up everybody's transmutes that whole time in the guild to get them transmuted into bars. Um, and then like the other stuff, like we had the fiery cores and the lava cores and the essence of fire from the guild, and then Blood of the Mountain. I had already collected like 5 or 6 of those from just mining, and the guild had some more. And then I bought a couple off the auction house. And Dark Iron bars, I had my own already from mining. And then the last thing was the ingots, and at the time that the eye dropped, we only had one, and you need 8, so they only drop from Golemag, and they're a pretty low drop rate.
yeah.
It
They're pretty
says
rare,
it
man.
says like yeah, it says like 1 in 3, but that kind of seems like bullshit because they seem like they never drop.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, well, what the hell am I gonna do? It's like I kind of wanna like I didn't really care to be first. Like it wasn't something I was like, oh, I need to be first. I need to
Hmm.
absolutely do
It
that.
just
I just
happened.
wanted to
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to do it as fast as possible, just to put my, like if I can be first, that's awesome. But I wanted to do it as fast as possible because I didn't want to have this awesome thing just sitting in my bags and, just go to waste.
Yeah, the amount of excitedness, man. Like, if I get that on my shaman, that'll be fucking awesome. I'll be freaking out.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's awesome.
yeah.
So I was pumped. So we had one ingot. We needed 8. So I started talking to guilds, and like I was, I was planning just to see like, hey, do you want to you loan them, and then when we get them, we trade them back or whatever. And like nobody was being very receptive, and like I was having a hard time even getting in touch with people as like leaders, like leadership to talk about it. And it was like 1 or 2 weeks, 3 weeks after I had gotten it, and I like finally like got all these like I finally talked to these people, and like they were all like really cool about everything. And the one guild I talked to is Reforged, which is the guild I'm currently in, and their guild leader Oridan, he talked to me in Defy, and he was like, yeah, he's like, we'll be happy to help you guys out. Like we never got to craft one in vanilla. And he actually had already spent an ingot to get the recipe to craft the hammer, so that was already saving us one extra that would have cost. And he was like, yeah, I'll even craft it for you. So we were like, wow, awesome.
Wow.
And the deal with them was we just had to pay a deposit, and then as we traded the ingots back, we'd get the deposit back. So I paid them like 250 gold an ingot, and got 3 from them. And then just we traded them back over time and got the money back. So that got me up to like 4. And then I spoke with another guild, which was Nexus, who they're not even around anymore. And for whatever reason, their GM was just like super on board with it too. And he was like, hell yeah. He's like, we'll give you the ingots. You can trade them back whenever you get them, whenever you can. He's like, I want to be part of this and, help you get it done. So like that got us up to 7. And then like just as I had like finished collecting all the other mats, we go into raid, and the next one drops, and then I have everything. And then it was like, damn, it's like I'm actually gonna craft it now. And a couple days later, then we went in and crafted it in Blackrock Depths and came back to Ironforge, and then there was a bunch of people there, and I, clicked the button and made the hammer.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. Having to work with another guild out there. It shows the potential of this fucking game, man. It's insane.
Exactly. And not even them, like my guild members, they definitely helped. Like I would never be able to do it without them. Like I probably, over the course of like 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, I had like 5 or 6 guild members literally just using their transmutes on cooldown like every 2 days to make the bars. And then I had other people that lent me money so that I could pay the deposit to Reforge, since the guild wasn't going to loan me that. And I also used money to I bought some arcane crystals to get to the 50, bought a couple Blood of the Mountain, and I ended up borrowing I think like 600 gold maybe from guild members. Big chunks of it came from a couple people. Like my brother donated a lot of money.
For sure, yeah.
And some other people did too, and I ended up paying it all back as I got those deposits back from Reforge. So they were all just loans, but I mean, I would have never been able to do it without those people and without the other guilds and my guild members.
Now, how much did you pay Reforge with your own money? With your own gold, overall?
I think probably my own gold, not just to Reforge, but in general, the amount of money that I spent on my own wasn't really even that much. It was probably like 500 gold. So compared to like what the raw cost of just everything, if you were to sell every single material on the auction house, that's really a small chunk.
Now, do you know how much you spent on just Reforge alone?
So Reforged, I got 3 ingots from them, and at the time it was 250 each, so it was 750. And then they obviously paid it back as I traded the ingots back when they dropped in our raid. So with them, it was like a net. I didn't really gain or lose anything. It just took the time to get the money back. But aside from that, I spent like probably close to 500 gold of my own money on the auction house and other people buying extra stuff.
Now, since you're in Reforge guild, did you ask if you could have your money back?
No, because I got the money back. I wouldn't do that anyways, even if I just bought them. But
yeah,
it was only like a loan. Like I paid them the money and then they paid me the money back. So it was kind of just like a deposit on the items. So I didn't lose any money. I got the money back. It just took a while.
That's funny. I wonder like what they would say. Like It's like what?
Oh,
What?
if I had not paid them back or
Yeah.
if not traded them back.
It's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm part of your guild anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't think they've actually their guild's never been gotten they've never got the eye to drop themselves, so I'm the only person in their guild with the hammer currently. So I don't really know how many I don't know if they have a bunch of ingots or what they have that they're sitting on, but they never got an eye to drop, so I'm the only person in their guild currently that has the hammer.
I'm being fucking hunted. Hold on.
By Alliance.
Yeah.
We're at.
Oh, Hinterlands. But I got away. His name is Evelyn and Aaronius. They were trying to, like, I think the Aaronius wants to duel me, and Evelyn was like pointing at him. So I freaking ran and then vanished.
They just started chasing you.
Yeah, they did. But I got away. This is fun though, like interacting with the alliance and shit. Even if I'm, interviewing one, I've interviewed a few, but there's other ways that I kind of isolate whatever whatever I'm playing in this game. I'm talking to other players, especially alliance. I don't go on and like, oh hey, stop killing me. Can you tell these guys who like deep ganking me? It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that because that's I don't know. It's gonna
part of the game.
Yeah, part of the game. It's gonna ruin it for me. Then once I do that, I'm gonna be, oh shit. Oh, they need my help. Once I do that, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've been in places where I've been like killed multiple times in a row. Like sometimes I'll go to Orgrimmar and try to just kill people, and like I'll end up getting killed there 5 times in a row. But as a paladin, you always have the option to just bubble hurt things, so it's not really like possible to be camped as a paladin. So I've never like felt like the need to get like. I've definitely been pissed off and annoyed when I've been ganked doing something, but I've never like gotten like raged out over it. And now that I do have a horde, it's funny because like I'm in my horde is in strength, and like I was on my paladin farming stuff in winter spring, and one of their rogues attacked me and killed me, and then we fought each other a few times and we were killing each other, and then I like logged into my horde and I was talking to him. It was funny, but it's cool to have the chance to be able to talk to both sides, but at the same time, like fun of the game is not being able to talk to them too, and getting to fight them and stuff. So taking that away from it,
yeah,
probably isn't.
Definitely
Ruins the magic of it a little bit.
Definitely. Are you excited about the Zul'Garb coming out?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's nothing I can really use in there as for a rep paladin, but
oh yeah, but that's kind of crazy because the same thing for me. I'm a Resto shaman, and I'm probably gonna get some DPS gear maybe. I mean, it'll still be fun to kind of do it. And I think it's a lot easier than BWL maybe.
Yeah.
Because you only need blues to be, kind of recommended gear, I guess. It's nothing like, you need epic to get in there. That kind of probably be overkill if you have a full tier, even a full tier 1 to get in there. But at the same time, it'll be fun because I think what's the most anticipated, really the most anticipated wanted item there is the mount. It's the tiger mount, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, it's just fun to be part of new content. It's not that Blackwing Lair has been out for very long, but it's fun to do different things, and it's nice to have something else to work at and to get to experience as opposed to just doing the same thing every week.
It is.
Right now, I've been grinding out the Winter Saber trainers, which is a very, very slow grind, and would not recommend to anybody. But you got to find different things to do to break up the monotony of the game, or else you definitely will get burned out.
Have you PvP'd at all? Arathi Basin?
I've only done like probably 4 or 5 of them. I've been really doing a lot of Warsong. I'm trying to get exalted with them, so I
Yeah.
don't want to. I kind of want to focus on because they actually have an item that I can use that's like considered one of my best in slot, which is like bracers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but once I get further into that and I getting close to the finish line there, I'll start to do some Arathi. Plus, it just seems like the Alliance is faring much better in Warsong recently than Arathi, so
One of the problems for me on my shaman is I wanted to queue up and get into the game right away, but unfortunately the queue times for us is really slow. I think the quickest right now that I've been kind of got lucky was 15 minutes, but it would get into like 30 minutes, especially
even
for both Rathi and
oh
Warsong.
jeez,
And
that's insane.
yeah, and I mean if I queue for both, it's not bad because after I'm done with Warsong, Arathi Basin will pop.
Next one will pop.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I queue on Warsong again. So that isn't too bad. But if I just wanted to focus in one BGs, then I'd have to wait.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, the Alliance. You literally. I mean, I think Alterac's like 3 minutes right now, but everything else is like less than a minute. So
That's right. Yeah.
it's definitely the benefit to being on the Alliance. I guess the downside is that you're probably much more likely to lose in any of the battlegrounds. I think Alterac Valley, the Alliance has like a 90% loss rate or higher,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other ones I can't imagine it's not close. It's probably not 50%. So
Yeah. When you said that Alliance loses all the time, you said, or
yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, I assume just from pugging, right?
yeah. I mean, like the last like 5 Alterac Valleys I've done,
Yeah.
like, I've probably done 5 of them over the last like week and a half or 2 weeks, and I've lost every single one of them. Like not even close to even having a chance of winning. Like we didn't destroy a single tower. We didn't even get out of the center of the map. We just got beat back as soon as it started, and then it goes downhill from there until it's over.
Yeah, it's the opposite for me too. On my side, Horde always loses whenever I pug it. Even with pre-made, really. If we get lucky enough to have our own like really thought out plan,
Yeah.
we would win. Not the majority of the time, but it's usually like either the only reason that I've come across with losing all the time pre-made against pre-made is not having the specific type of class like druids. Druids are really essential for Warsong.
Yeah, you definitely need a druid.
Yeah, and one of those things that we don't have a druid, and I'm like shit. They have like 2 druids, so that's like
Yeah.
I mean that's
You can
kind of
get by without one, but it definitely is like, you're definitely shooting yourself on the foot if you don't have a druid.
definitely.
I mean, I don't play the most desirable spec for the pre-mates. I've started to actually I never did it before, like this past week, but I started to run in some of the groups that the Alliance form up, and it's definitely way better than just pugging into it. Like you are increasing your odds of winning by an insane amount. And it's not even just because it's not because you're necessarily better than everyone on the horde, but the fact that you're communicating and you're organized and everyone there wants to be there and wants to win, it definitely makes like a big difference, because sometimes you pug into stuff and people seem like they don't even give a fuck and they're just ready to just leave, as soon as anything bad happens, or
Yeah.
as soon as they think they don't have a chance.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think Red Pallies has more potential than enhancement shamans because from my experience, enhancement shamans are really squishy. There's just mail, and I mean with Pally, I mean you're wearing plates, man. And I like that fact. Plus you can bubble, and how do as far as your survivability, how much do you notice that you survive for a long time
Yes.
you're in your pally.
Honestly, as long as you have mana and you're not getting focused by like 6 people, you have a pretty good chance of surviving on a paladin, even if it's it means you're running away. Because you have Blessing of Freedom, you can dispel yourself, um, you can bubble. It's really hard to stop a paladin from running. Um, if you need to do that, and it's also hard to just focus them down and kill them because they're gonna bubble, they're gonna freedom and move away from you, they're gonna stun you. There's a lot of stuff in your toolkit to keep you mobile and to keep people away from you. And then that also comes into effect in the fact that you can help your flag carrier. Like I can put Blessing of Freedom on a druid, and then they can't get rooted. They don't have to shapeshift. They can just haul ass across the map, which is pretty big. And like I feel like as a rep paladin, the gear that I'm wearing isn't just like you see some rep paladins in battlegrounds just have on all the crap they'd be using for PvE, which you're not even doing great damage in PvE to begin with, but now you're wearing leather and mail and a bunch of garbage in a battleground that doesn't give you any stats besides crit, and you're just turning yourself into like a very, very breakable glass cannon. So I usually wear like a mix of my PvE stuff that's plate with like tier 1 and tier 2 armor. I have a bigger mana pool, I have a bigger health pool, I have a lot more armor, I have a lot more stats. I can, dispel people, and if someone gets too close to me, I can fuck them up too. So
Yeah, when I was talking to Blazedin, he had this hybrid theory. He was talking about that. I guess he's big into that, and by adding a bunch of um, healing gear with his ret gear, I guess that's pretty awesome.
yeah, the cool thing about like the paladin tier 2 stuff from Blackwing Laren, it's just spell power, so it's the damage and healing stuff. So my magic effects like judgment and like seal of command procs, they get boosted by that spell power.
Mhm.
And then it also boosts my healing, so I can throw out heals on people. I'm dispelling people, putting my blessings, buffing everybody. I have my auras. Like the toolkit is definitely made for supporting somebody and being a part of a group as opposed to just rolling on your own and shit. Which is like I think a lot of people might you see more paladins that understand that, but you also see a lot of rep paladins. Not that there's that many of them, but you definitely see plenty of them that they're just in their own little bubble and they're just there for themselves, and there aren't they're not helping the group, they're helping themselves, and it's not helping anybody in the long run.
Sure. I'll be back. I gotta get some more beer.
Okay.
How's your whiskey, by the way?
Oh, it's good. It's this Jack Daniel's number 27. It's like a really smooth just Jack Daniel's whiskey.
Nice. I'll be back. I'm back.
All right, welcome back.
Yeah. It's funny because when I was upstairs, I just thought this is my first that I remember taking going upstairs while interviewing somebody, right? So I was in the bathroom, and I have a couple of friends that does podcast, but it's like unrelated, and one of them I listen to whenever they take a break, and after they come back, they have this sense of way of speaking when they come back. It's more like they're trying to sound like more like a radio guy, like welcome back. Like it's one of those things. I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna do that. It's like I'm never gonna do that.
I always just do that as a joke. Like when someone will leave to go to the bathroom or something, and I'm just sitting there talking to them, I'll be like, "Oh, good luck."
Yeah, it's funny.
It's just funny, and it's the same with the welcome back thing. It's kind of stupid. It's like
Yeah, it
You know,
is.
it's like, what, are you gonna be not welcome to come back?
Yeah. It's like, welcome back to our episode. I can't do it, man. It
Yeah,
has, I mean,
it's too informal for anything like that.
it is. And it seems fake too. Like, I mean, I have nothing against it, but I just don't like it. Like, for me. I mean,
Yep.
they can, like, if I ever get interviewed by somebody who does that, I'm not gonna tell them, like, quit doing that, you know. At the same time, it would be kind of rude, but, just have them make it their own way, whatever. But for me, I, I, the first thing, I don't have the radio voice. Like, if I did have the radio voice, then that'd be completely different. But it's
Yeah.
one of those things
It's
that
part of
I
your
think you have
character.
to be born of having that voice to say that kind of certain stuff.
Yeah, it has to be part of the character, but you're more the laid back host, so it makes no sense for you to be that jumpy and formal, I guess.
Yeah, I have my own way of saying things, but I don't really say it. It's like speed limit in the house, but it's more, but it's more like a part of it's one of the parodies that I wrote some music. It's,
Yeah.
so I mean, maybe like in my RP role playing events, maybe I'll do that. But I don't even know if they actually talk in Discord. I think they just type it and talk that way. I don't think they even nobody even does that for RP, right? Do you know if somebody does that? Like,
From my experience with in-game chat,
just in game chat, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Getting
more.
some lag
What's that? You kind of
copy.
cutting out.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I don't know what happened. I was just getting a bunch of lag in the game and in Discord, so I just disconnected and reconnected real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's probably it. I mean, it's unpredictable, man.
Yeah.
The way voices are sent through data, it's that there's no I don't know if you're familiar with the background of how data is being sent, but it's the it's like unreliable
Yeah.
practically. There's no like handshakes in between. It just keeps streaming like a water on a hose.
Yeah, I don't know much about that, honestly.
Yeah. Sorry, not to be. I don't know. I can't help it being an IT. Just like when things like happens like this, I'm like, oh, okay, that's why.
No, that's it's fine. That stuff's all interesting to me.
Yeah.
I my degree is mechanical engineering, so I definitely
Hey, close
at
enough.
least at least appreciate stuff like that if I'm not don't know anything about it.
Mechanical engineering, as and like for building a motor or electronics.
Yeah. Yeah, like building a motor, building any mechanical device really. That out of all the engineering fields, I would think the mechanical is like the most versatile and broad. Like it can really be used in, it can apply to almost anything.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. What kind of motors do you actually work on? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, I don't actually. Oddly enough, I don't work I don't work as an engineer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just what my degree's in.
Okay.
But I graduated a year ago and then didn't do much for like a year after I graduated and was kind of just taking it easy and
Mhm.
working with my family company and
Mhm.
living at home and stuff. And then when I finally got a job, I oddly enough got a job in construction um as like a project scheduler. So
Okay.
that's where I'm at now. So it's not engineering related at all.
But you're gonna pursue that, right, sometime in the future.
I don't know. I really don't.
Mhm.
It was at first when I graduated, it was like, yeah, I definitely should do that since that's what I went to school for.
Mhm.
But
But the interest is kind of fading away, maybe, or just.
I don't know if it's fading. It's just that, I'm interested in what I'm doing now, and there's definitely you can do anything. You know,
Mhm.
I don't think you should limit yourself to what you graduated a degree with, or what
That's
you're
true.
currently doing.
That's true.
So
But
whatever I feel like doing, I'm just gonna do it. And this definitely seems like a good fit for me now, and I enjoy my job a lot.
I mean, that's what it's. I think that's what it's about. You just gotta find what you enjoy, even if it's like you said, even if it's the degree, it's not the degree that you found or that you went to. And I guess you just kind of the opportunity just popped up and you just kind of
Exactly.
held onto it. That
Yeah, the
works out a
opportunity
lot better.
popped up, and then that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's cool, man. With this whole traveling thing too, it's. Do you like traveling at all?
Yeah, I do. It's definitely I lived in the same town, my entire life growing up, and then I went to high school, in the city, and then I went to a college that was literally like 3 blocks away from where I went to high school. So I was literally going to school in the same town for 9 years in a row, and I'd lived in the same house my entire life. Besides, whenever I was living on campus for a few years, so it kind of was I needed to get away, and the opportunity to travel and see different places and work different places is definitely pretty awesome, and I'm glad that I'm doing it. It's just that now with this like present state of things, it's obviously kind of on hold for the time being. But
Going back to your mechanical engineering, do you um, practice that somehow? Do you go into your notes and kind of remind yourself
no,
some
I
things
mean,
in case we forget some aspects of it?
I think like honestly, someone might contradict me on this if there's some professional that hears your podcast, but
Mm-hmm.
engineering like is a field in mechanical engineering. It's the things you go to school to learn. Like obviously you're learning formulas and you're learning the math and the engineering and the science behind um, certain subjects, whether it's fluids or thermodynamics or you know heat and mass transfer or just basic mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also trying to learn the process of things, and like you hear like about the scientific method. If
Mm-hmm.
you're a scientist, you have to
Sure.
follow this plan of things. Like there's the same thing when it comes to like engineering and design. Like you have a path and like a course of actions you do when you're designing something,
Mm-hmm.
and or when you're solving a problem. I don't think I'm picking out
Yeah, you're cutting out again.
learn the basics or do as a
Maybe it's me. Hold on.
did you hear what I said though?
Yeah. Well, you keep cutting out. I understood like half of
Let
it.
me oh great. Let me switch to my I can switch to a hotspot. How do I sound now?
Oh, keep saying something.
La 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 la.
Yep. Good. You're
All right,
good.
cool. All right, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the local internet it's crappy,
Yeah,
but
that's fine, man.
I don't know where I got lost at. But basically, I think the stuff you learn in school is more about your way of thinking and the way of approaching, problem solving and
I see.
designing a solution. And then like the actual knowledge is like, just you're not really getting too in depth anyways. So you can relearn it if you're not, if you're smart enough.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think that's really the obstacle.
I guess it helps with your critical thinking and the way that when something comes up and you can apply that degree to whatever it is that you're doing to
Hmm.
solve a specific problem. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Um, Definitely. You have one of those essential degrees, I guess. Um, even if your current job right now, something happens, you still have that backup degree and you can apply to. At least you have that. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Back to WoW because I'm currently in Winter Spring and
Yeah.
someone in my party just got ganked by Beeswax. Yeah, is she like as famous on the Horde as she's infamous on the Alliance? Yeah, because she is like everyone is always complaining about getting killed by her and bacteria somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her more than anybody though.
Yeah.
Is there anyone like that from like the Horde side that's like, or from the Horde perspective, are there any alliance that are like infamous for just ganking people?
Who's there? The infamous players. I can think of any. I mean, I know guilds that kind of waits on Horde whenever they wanted to raid MC or BWL.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. We just
There was a big fight there tonight, I guess.
Oh yeah, Purge just got in there, and I guess our second group helped out, and a few more guildies. A few
That's
more.
funny.
Yep.
I thankfully raid on Wednesdays, so it's usually quiet enough whenever we're sneaking in.
Oh yeah. You
Yeah.
said that you farming BWL now, right?
Yeah, we have it on farm. Like we one shot everything last week and it was around 2 hours, so probably get better from here. I would hope.
Cool, cool, man.
The only crappy thing about being a rep paladin is you don't get a lot of gear. Not that you deserve it, but you go for a while before you get anything because you're competing against all the warriors and
Well, since you have that weapon too, you're probably the last person to get something for
yeah,
two-handed, right?
I don't need another weapon
Right.
for a while. Um, there's other stuff I could use though. Like I could use some legs, I could use some shoulders, but I'm not like, I know that I'm helping the team more by passing on stuff and letting other people take it because as a rep paladin you're never going to do the most damage. You're going to be towards the bottom every time. So I don't ever expect anything to be given to me.
Yeah, we recently cleared BWL on my shaman on our second group last week. Took us like 4 hours, so I was pretty excited.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep, I guess.
It's cool just to get in there and clear it.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite dungeons. This Molten Core is nothing, but when it comes to Ragnaros, you still sometimes you wipe on him, but that's kind of given, I guess. If we're not paying attention a lot, or if there's some fuck ups, but otherwise that MC we just clear through it, and then BWL hopefully that we could one shot each boss soon, I guess. We'll see what's gonna happen here on Friday. It's kind of crazy how we have two groups too. Some of the players are playing their alt into our second group, which is pretty nice. We kind of having to have that reliable players that have time to do that. That's kind of amazing. They love this game so much that they would create multiple characters and redo this all over again from 1 to 60. Not to mention the raid part. I mean, the raid part is probably what gives him the motivation to even keep going. Some of them even PvP and BGs.
Yeah. Yep, I definitely I've always been like a one character type of person. Like in retail I only ever played on one character, and then classic I kind of only have done the same thing. Like my highest level besides my main is like 16. So
Mm-hmm.
it's there's so much to do that I feel like you get pulled in so many directions that it's easy just to focus on one character and one task at a time as opposed to multiple characters and you're doing multiple things and nothing really gets the attention it needs to get done.
Mm-hmm. Are you playing right now at the moment?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna log off soon though.
Can you get to Gadget Sen quickly, or?
Yeah, I'll be right there. I just gotta turn in this stupid Winter Saber quest. I don't know if you know anything about this grind, but you have to do the same quest like 800 times to get to Exalted.
The Winter Saber at Winter Spring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people posted that on Reddit, and I never really paid attention on what the actual process of that. I mean, I assume that you get to Exalted, which is you just kill a bunch of Yetis, I guess, or is it the equivalent of one of those for blogs that you kill in Fallwood. You keep killing until you get rep.
Pretty much the first so like the first you start at 0 out of 3,000 neutral, and then you only have one quest at the beginning, which is to get 5 meat from the bears and 5 meat from the like chimera things in um Winter Spring. So you basically go kill them, and the drop rate is just horrendous. So you're just killing these things over and over and over again to get the um to get the to get the meat, and then you get 5 of each, and you go turn it in. Then you got to ride back down to where the animals are at and kill them. Then you get the stuff, over and over again, and you get 50 rep each time you complete the quest, and then you got to do that till you're at 1,500. So that's 30 turn-ins, right? Um, so that took me probably I don't know, probably 10 hours of played time. Maybe not that much. I honestly have no clue, but it felt like a really long time. Once you finally finish that, you can start doing the next quest, which is just to kill the furbolgs in the camp in Winter Spring. You have to kill 5 of 2 different types. But that place is like over farmed. Like there's everyone's there farming fire, water, and eco and stuff. So you're competing against other people, and then to add that on, every time you complete the quest, you got to ride back up to the stupid rock and turn it in, and then ride back down and do it again. So it takes a long time, and I'm not that far in. I really only just started. I'm at 1,200 into friendly.
Nice.
So got to do the quest another 700 times or so.
Yeah, good luck with that. But yeah, this has been great, man. We finally got to talk. It's nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you too. It was fun.
Yeah,
it's nice to just talk to someone you haven't talked to before about the stuff you do on here all the time. So
definitely, it's gives another reason to play for me. So yeah, this is it, man. Thanks for doing this again.
No problem, man. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I got the opportunity.
Yeah, man. I'm going to bed, so.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Yep, you too.